surfer area.
Need you, before you sneak out of here to review this, this is, I think they told you about it, but this is the actual thing.
Sorry? Yes, I did.
If not, we have a ton of them.
Yeah, well,
But he can't steal them.
wife's got an issue with that, so.
I have tons of them.
We do, we as well, but
Tons of them. I have more than I need. I'm like, I'm not gonna go through this whole thing for the next like 5 years.
funny when
Tons.
you know, the shortage was starting. First case, do we?
Well, let me go ahead and do my thing.
I'll
Good
call
morning.
cases
Welcome
for
to
you.
today's enforcement hearing. My name is Bernardo Roche. I'll be your magistrate today. This is a quasi-judicial meeting, which means that it's like court, but the rules are less formal. Everybody that is present here for a case will have an opportunity to be heard. At this time, I'll ask for those who will be providing testimony to please stand up, raise your right hand, taking up the oath. Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. With that, I will ask the town to call the first case, please.
Magistrate, the first case is going to be number 1 on your agenda, Glenda Robertson. Presenting the case is going to be Code Enforcement Officer Eli Lee.
Mr. Lee, you're employed by the city of, town of Fort Myers Beach, is that correct?
Yes.
In what capacity?
I'm the code compliance officer.
And in that capacity, is it your responsibility to enforce the town's codes and ordinances as adopted by the town council?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the property located at 4855 Dolphin Lane that is the subject of this code enforcement case?
Yes.
Please tell the special magistrate how you were so familiar.
Yes, this case was handed to me from the previous code enforcement officer. The code case is about a work without permit, handrails, stairs for 4855 Dolphin Lane. There was no permit at the time. Original notice of violations and in the which was out. They had applied for a permit. It has been approved. The only thing they need to do, the issue is to pay the fees and pick it up. I've been to the property owner. Have several discussions about what she needs to do to come in. Just
When was the permit ready for pickup and payment?
been ready for pickup payment for several months now.
Months?
Months.
Okay.
A copy in the packet. You should see a copy of the permit application, how it says review status approved, and everything you may want to know about the permit and the stages. So, but yes, I have talked to her for past several months. I would say, since like March.
Just to clarify, in the town of Fort Myers Beach, the permit is not itself issued until it's picked up and payment is made, correct?
Correct.
As Mr. Mr. Lee testified, they haven't paid the fee, so we couldn't issue the permit until
Correct.
they paid.
That's issuance happens at pickup and payment. Until then, it's just sitting there as an application.
Mr. Lee, can you tell the special magistrate what the work was that was done without a permit?
It was the replacement of the handrails on the stairs. There's pictures from the previous code enforcement officers of the stairs and handrails being removed and set outside the property. When I picked up the case, I took pictures of after the work has been completed. So you can see those pictures that's attached to the packets.
Is this the picture? Oh, there they are up there.
Oh, yes.
Are these the photographs you testified that you're testifying about?
Correct.
They, to the best of your knowledge, accurately and correctly reflect the condition of the property and the date of the photographs?
Yes.
And was a notice of violation issued to the property owner?
Correct.
Was a notice of hearing for today's hearing issued to or sent to the property owner?
Yes.
Are the postings and green card and return receipt requested in the file.
Yes.
We move the file into evidence,
Admitted?
Special Magistrate, and based upon the evidence testimony presented, we would ask that the Special Magistrate find that there is a violation of the code as cited, and give the property owner 30 days to obtain the permit. If not, $250 a day until there is a compliance achieved, and a $75 administrative fee to be paid within 10 days.
I see that in your packet. One of the pictures does in fact show the old railing and debris having removed. Okay?
And the reason we're asking for the maximum fine is because the work was done without a permit and without inspections and the proper verification. We don't know if it's to code.
Agreed. For the most part, when it's a lack of permits, work done without the permit, I find it to be an unsafe and a hazard to the property. So even though it's not a repeat, I do go for the $250 maximum. So after that, based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation as stated in the notice of violation did exist and continues to exist, ordering the property owner to come into compliance by obtaining the permit, which in this case is a matter of picking it up and paying the fee, in 10 days. Otherwise face a fine of $250 a day until the violation is corrected. Is there a request for fees and cost?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
$75.
I hereby also grant the town's request in the amount of $75 for fees and costs incurred in bringing this matter before the magistrate. Right, next case.
Madam Magistrate, we're going on to number 2 on your agenda. Glenda Robertson, a work without permit, expired permit for the pool. Presenting the case again is Officer Eli Lee.
Officer Lee, you've previously been sworn and testified that you are a code enforcement officer for the town of Fort Myers Beach. Is that correct?
Yes.
In that capacity, you are responsible for enforcing the city code.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the property at 4855 Dolphin Lane?
Correct.
Please tell the Special Magistrate how you are so familiar with the property.
Yes, this property is not a case for it, which is expired permit for, work without permit, expired permit for the pool. This case was handed to me by the previous code enforcement officer, and I, under my control, and I kind of been monitoring the property and working with the property owner about coming to compliance. Like I stated before, that I've been reaching out to her about how to come in compliance. The permit has never been final, so it's just been expired since last year, 2019. So as I stated, I talked to her about how to come in compliance. She said that she done everything, and I notified her that on our end we don't. So as of today, there's still no permit, no progress from the property owner achieving compliance for the expired permit.
So, to be clear, in this particular instance, the work a permit was applied for and obtained, but the work has not been there. A final inspection was never requested, and as a result, the permit is expired.
Correct.
For purposes of the town, there is no longer a permit, hence this is work without a permit, correct? What is what town requesting?
The town's requesting finding a violation of the cited section, giving the property owner 30 days to reactivate the permit and obtain the final inspection for closeout. If not obtained and within that time frame, $250 a day fine per day, and requesting an administrative fine of $75 paid within 10 days.
Is this case a matter of requesting the renewal of the permit, or does it have to go through permit processing again?
You have to go through the permit process again.
It's the whole-
This is past 180 days.
Okay. Backed up is the town in doing permits.
We process everything within 3 to 4 weeks.
What was it that you said that the permit expired?
Expired on, this was opened up in last year, so
Several months ago.
the 22nd.
Okay. Process in this case, it's the same property owner. There is nobody here on behalf of the property owner. Okay, so based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation as stated in the notice of violation did exist. And I hereby order the property owner to come into compliance by obtaining a permit. That includes payment, pickup and payment within 30 days. Otherwise, face a fine of $250 a day until the property is brought into compliance. Is there a request for fees and cost?
Yes, $75.
I'm also granting the town's request in the amount of $75 for fees and costs incurred by the town in bringing this matter before the magistrate. Because they have to apply, and then the other one was a matter of pickup. So I could only do it 30 days because we need to give them time to process. All right, next case.
Madam Magistrate, next case, same property owner, Glenda Robertson. This is a work without permit, an expired permit for an electrical permit. Officer Eli Lee is presenting the case.
Officer Lee, you've been previously sworn, that's correct?
Correct.
And you are employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach as Code and Compliance Officer?
Yes.
In that capacity, it's your responsibility to enforce these codes. Are you familiar with the property at 4855 Dolphin Lane?
Yes, I am.
Please tell the special magistrate how you're familiar with the property as it relates to this particular case, CE 19-0165.
Yes, it was a work without permit, expired electrical permit. Like I said, I've been talking to the property owner about how to come in compliance over the past several months when I inherited it. And as of today, there has not been any new permit or any progress on getting this permit closed out or getting permit issued. States is still
And expired, right?
expired, yes.
What is this town requesting?
Your 30 days to obtain the permit, if not, a $250 a day per day fine and a $75 admin fee to be paid within 10 days. We just point out, as with the first case that you heard, that this is actual work that's been done. It's of an electrical nature, so we're certainly concerned about the safety of the occupants of the structure, that the work was done without the benefit of final inspection, because as Officer Lee testified, the permit was obtained but has not been closed out and since expired, so we don't know the status of the electrical work and the final inspection of it.
Okay, again, this is the same property owner. There is nobody here on behalf of the property owner. I hereby find, based on the evidence presented, that the violations as stated in the notice of violation did exist and continue to exist. I hereby order the property owner to come into compliance within 30 days, otherwise face a fine of $250 a day until the property is brought into compliance. I'm also granting the town's request in the amount of $75 for fees and costs incurred by the town in bringing this matter before the magistrate. Next, please.
Okay, as you see on your agenda, Madam Magistrate, matters number 4 and 5 have been continued. Since the printing of this, also number 6 has been continued, so we are now on number 7. This is George Hosch with the violation of sea turtle lighting. Is going to be presented by our environmental officer, Chad Schutz.
Did you take the oath?
Schutz and Ladders. Oh, he has not been
Right
sworn
hand?
in, yes.
You swear
was
affirm the
late.
testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You may proceed.
Mr. Schutz, can you please state your name for the record?
Schutz?
And are you employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach?
Yes, sir.
In what capacity?
Environmental project manager and code officer.
In your capacity as code enforcement officer, is it your responsibility to enforce the city's codes, including the turtle lighting ordinances and regulations? Are you familiar with the property at 5380 Estero Boulevard, which we're here for today?
I am.
Please tell the special magistrate how you're so familiar.
The property had a warning issued on 23rd from exterior lighting and then also was cited on August 18th for observations made on August 13th for the period of lighting that was visible.
Do you, for the photographs that are in the file, that a copy have been provided to the special magistrate, show the property and the lighting in question? Those pictures accurately reflect the conditions of the property at the time?
Yes, sir.
Record, can you please briefly explain the importance of the lighting restrictions and how this lighting, as it's depicted in the photograph, is a violation of the code?
So the code specifies that existing artificial lighting affixed to exterior permanent structures shall not be directly, indirectly, or cumulatively visible from any portion of the beach during turtle nesting season, and that is an issue because those lights can disorient hatchlings nests which were in the vicinity of that property.
Are sea turtles in general, and certainly hatchlings, are they subject to or considered to be an endangered species by the federal and state government? Have any contact with the property owner about the violations?
I have not heard back from them, only the written correspondence that was sent.
And when you mean written correspondence, did they respond, or was it the notices that you sent out?
Just the notices.
No contact from the property owner?
No, sir.
Special Magistrate, based upon the evidence testimony presented here this morning, we'd ask that the Special Magistrate find the property owner to be in violation of the code, issue an order requiring the property owner to comply with our sea turtle lighting requirements, and until such time, asked a fine of $250 plus $75 admin fee, payable within 30 days. Actually, 15 days.
And again, there's nobody here present on behalf of the property owner. Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation as stated in the notice of violation did exist, that the property owner ignored the June 23rd of 2020 warning, and as such, I'm imposing a one-time fine of $250, ordering the property owner to come into compliance with the lighting provisions within 5 days, otherwise face a fine of $250 a day until the violation is corrected. I'm also granting the town's request in the amount of $75 as incurred in bringing this matter before the magistrate.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Magistrate, number 8, we are in, it's going to be continued as well. Number 9 is up now. This is, property owner is Joseph Delisle. Case number CE 20-0461. Presenting the case is Code Enforcement Short-Term Rental Coordinator, Kristen Schumacher.
Schumacher, can you please state your name for the record?
Kristen Schumacher.
Are you employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach?
Yes.
In what capacity?
Term rental code enforcement coordinator.
In that capacity, is it your responsibility to oversee the short-term rental regulations and the registration requirements and violations of those regulations?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the property at 4753 Estero Boulevard, unit number 601, that is subject of today's hearing?
Yes.
Tell the special magistrate how you're so familiar.
I came across an ad online for host compliance that this address with the ad, and they are not registered. So I sent them notice of violation, notice of hearing on 7/1. They have not complied.
No communications with the property owner at all?
Prior to, we sent warnings that through host compliance, and prior to me opening the case, the homeowner said that their identification and is advertising the property. It's actually on page 26. But I sent them the listings of all the ads and have not heard back since then, and told them they need to, if it's really an issue, they need to contact either.
With respect to this particular violation, the simple manner to comply is by registering.
Yes.
And is there a fee that has to be paid as part of that registration process?
It's $100 fee to get the registration, and then renews every year, dollars to renew.
Right now, when it comes to the short-term, taking on face value what is online, a rental is in compliance with the zoning provided, outside of the registration?
I did not look at the zoning,
Okay, so right now we're just registration, that's it?
purely registration.
Okay.
I did see actually a booking for January for this property online, and that is also on here.
And how quickly is the process for registration?
Once we get it, it could take up to 24 hours.
Madam Special Magistrate, it just, this is the time of year where all the short-term rentals are up for renewal. So we're going through that process of going through our data files.
But is this one never registered, or is it
This one,
renewal?
yeah, this one's never registered, and it came to our attention through a complaint from the next door neighbor.
Okay.
Madam Special Magistrate, based upon the evidence testimony in case CE 200461, we would ask that the Special Magistrate find the property and the property owner to be in violation of the section of the code for which they were cited, give them 14 days to register the rental, or 250 days fine for each day thereafter, and we'd request the $75 administrative fee and for that to be paid within 10 days.
It is hereby noted that nobody is present for the property owner. Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation stated in the notice of violation did exist and continues to exist. I hereby order the property owner to register the property within 14 days, otherwise face a fine of $250 a day until the violation is corrected. I'm also granting the town's request for $75 in fees and costs incurred by the town in bringing this matter before the magistrate. And I'm doing the 30 days on the payment. Right now, they haven't accrued anything.
Okay, Your Honor, number 10, Sugar Beach Estates, and this is actually number 10, number 11, and number 12. They have entered into a compliance agreement. So now we are on to number 13. Property owners are O. Suchowski. This has also been continued, so we are now at number 14 on the agenda. The property owner is Wilfredo Rodriguez. The case number is CE 200561. Oh, I'm sorry. CE 200594. The violation is repeat violation of prior order. Code enforcement and short-term rental coordinator Kristen Schumacher is presenting the case.
Schumacher, you've been previously sworn, is that correct?
Yes.
And you testify that you work for the town of Fort Myers Beach as the short-term rental coordinator and code enforcement officer?
Yes.
In that capacity, it's your responsibility to oversee and enforce the town's short-term rental regulations?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the property at 215 Nature View Court, case number CE 200594? Please tell the special magistrate how you're familiar.
I've complaint, and they are renting for less than 7 days. Repeat violation, so we do have an order for them to discontinue renting for less than 7 days.
And is that in the file?
It's actually page 1.
Tell us a little bit about how you determined that this particular piece of property is in continuing violation of the town's regulations.
I gather evidence from online, from their rental calendars and rental reviews. Page 28 is where I start with the rental calendars. I try using now Flip Key or ones that show you that they're updated by the property owner on that certain day. So to keep them current. Marked off dates are days that it's booked. As the progression goes on, you can see bookings and violations of less than 7 days, which then I will match up with pictures I take at the property, or one of our code enforcement officers takes.
Now, are those the photographs that are in the package?
Yes, that starts on page 35. I have a listing of dates of where we see cars in the driveway.
And those are generally different cars on the dates that coincide with the new bookings?
Yes.
And the bookings are all for less than 7 days?
Yes.
Are any of them what has been characterized as double dipping in the same week? Or are all these just 7-day rentals short?
We're all just rentals short of 7 days. There's no double dipping. Every weekend there was a number of cars.
There is a minimum stay requirement of 7 days.
Yes.
Is there any information on the websites that you visited indicating a minimum stay of 7 days?
They have been changed, actually, since last hearing date,
Last Saturday?
Wait,
I'm sorry, when?
August 20th.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was changed?
The minimum stay requirements.
Oh, okay. Now they
What is it?
corrected it as of 8/20?
Sorry?
They corrected it as of 8/20?
October 20th, that's when they started putting on their rental calendars minimum 7-day stay.
For October.
I mean, August.
I think you said
August,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean August.
Take your time. It's no trick questions here. So as of August 20th, they have corrected the information to show a minimum stay of 7 days. But prior to that point in time, the advertisements or websites show indicated stays of less than the 7-day minimum.
Yes.
That is a violation of the town's regulations, correct?
Yes.
With respect to the this is the same violation for which the property owner has been previously cited and found to be in violation of. Is that correct?
Yes.
Move into evidence the file, the
Coordinator.
photographs.
I heard you say, we talked about 8/20, that's when they put in the new time limitations. Did that take effect immediately on 8/20, or is it in October that it takes effect? Or you know, it's just not?
It's just, they put a block on it where it says minimum 7 days. It doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't doing it, because as you see, page 35, I have my date list. And it seems because of 9/7 rented.
Okay. What is the town requesting?
The, this is the way that this is ongoing. We're asking that the special magistrate, one, find that this is a repeat violation for the enhanced penalties. There were documented and testified to 15 rentals that took place that were less than the minimum 7 days required. So we're asking for a fine for each one of those 15 rentals of the maximum allowed. We're only asking for $250, we're not asking for $500. So we're asking for a fine of $3,750 plus a $75 admin fee.
So your calculation for the 3,000, what was it again? 3,000?
$3,750, that's 15 rentals at $250 each. Those are the dates that are reflected on the page 35 that Ms. Schumacher just previously testified to, just a minute ago.
Are we still traveling on this? No, we're traveling under two separate numbers. I know what you're trying to do, but I think that fine is going to come into play when we do the certification on this one.
You ordered in your last order, so if you look in the order that we're talking about, you said $250 per occurrence. So for future occurrence, and that's where we calculated this.
It goes to case number 19-0520.
Correct, but
We're traveling under the new one, and I agree.
Oh, I see
that
what
we-
you're saying, with the new case
So
number,
this
right.
one, that $3,000 amount is going to be as of, running on this one as of today, until today.
oh, I'm sorry.
So it has to come to certification for that amount,
Correct.
the old one.
So-
So as to this one, we would start as a repeat starting today. The $500 rate on the repeat. All right, so I'm ready to go ahead and enter my
Okay.
order. I hereby find that based on the evidence presented, oh, by the way, there's nobody here on behalf of the property owner. I hereby find that based on the evidence presented, that the violations as stated in the notice of violation did exist and continue to exist. I also note that this is a repeat violation, a prior violation of the same nature being the subject of case number CE 19-0520. As such, there will be no 30-day purge as we've done in prior first-time hearings. The fine shall take effect immediately, and that per diem fine will be of the amount of $500 until the property is brought into compliance. $500 a day violation per each day that there's a violation regarding the short-term rental. This will take effect immediately. I'm also granting the town's request in the amount of $75 for fees and costs incurred by the town in bringing this matter before the magistrate. Starting today, $500 violation. And then the prior one can come for certification, do the 3,000, whatever amount he did. But it has to be noticed as such. Next case?
Okay, next case is the same property owner, same violation, case number CE 200595, different property. Same violation, different property. Code officer, code enforcement, short-term rental coordinator, Christine Schumacher is presenting the case.
Schumacher, you've previously been sworn and testified that you are employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach as a short-term rental code compliance officer, is that correct?
Yes.
In that capacity, you are responsible for overseeing and enforcing the town's short-term rental regulations.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the property that is subject of this code enforcement case, CE 200595, located at 5765 Lauder Street in
Yes.
Fort Myers Beach? Has this case previously been before the special magistrate? Is this property?
Not
Not
this
case.
property, yeah.
This property, and there's a previous order entered by the special magistrate finding this property to be in violation of the same code section that we're here for today. Correct?
Correct.
And the violation is multiple weekly rentals in a 1-month period of less than 7 days. Multiple rentals. Okay. All right. Please tell the special magistrate how you're so familiar with this property.
Like I said, this was a prior case. We received a complaint again. Page 20 starts all the complaints that this property is running out of zone. So from January until August, I found 15 violations of multiple rentals. And then have the monthly rental calendars as well, showing multiple rentals during the months, and you can see the progressions. I also go by reviews, So each month, starting page 70, for example, January, I have 2 reviews for January, and then I have the pictures of multiple different different time periods of cars.
And the different cars correlate to the multiple rentals in the same month?
Yes.
Okay, so we're clear, this issue, or this case is because this property is located in a part of the town where only 1 rental per month is allowed, is that correct?
Yes.
And there have been over multiple months. And the photographs reflect the condition of the property in which and show the various different vehicles during the time periods the photographs were taken.
Yes.
You had any contact with the property owner, either, you know, in the previous case or this particular case with regard to this issue?
Yes.
What has the property owner said, or has he taken any steps to mitigate or stop violating the code?
Hasn't done anything to stop violating. I told him his properties are being watched. He should just code that his neighbor tells me that his.
Who was here last magistrate on 2 other matters?
I think he was the gentleman who was the last one.
He was the last one.
Yes.
Right.
He's,
As a matter of fact, you imposed a $5,000 fine for him renting during the shutdown.
Yes, remember. All right.
Yes.
It's not gonna get any better for him. All right,
we have nothing further. Based upon the evidence testimony presented in case CE 20-0595, owner of record with Fred Rodriguez, we're asking that the special magistrate find that the property owner is in violation of the town code, that it is a repeat violation, to assess the maximum fine that you feel is appropriate given the circumstances, based upon the fact that the property owner's taken no remedial steps to bring the property into compliance. So we'd ask the maximum fine be imposed for each instance that testimony has been, that there's been rentals more than once in the specific month, and I believe that's times, do you?
10 and 15, but it's the same as the
No,
other.
that's
Oh.
no,
Yeah,
no,
there's 12 in this one.
12 instances in where over the 2 to 3 month time period, there's been rentals when
15, I'm sorry.
there's
There's
15
on this
there
one
are
as well.
15 separate ones.
I'm sorry, yeah.
When over how many months?
January, July.
Only 6 would be allowed, so he's had 11 rentals in violation of the code.
Actually 15.
No,
I took.
we already
It's the
counted
same
the
as the
6
other
off.
one.
Yeah, it's the
counted
same as
those-
the other one.
Those
It
would
is.
travel under the other case.
Okay.
Yeah, she already took off the allotted rental.
Okay, is that for this case? How many for this case?
15 violations.
15.
But remember the $500 imposition, those go to the other case, those 15 for the other case.
Okay.
It
Because
has
this
to
is
come
a
back
repeat.
to completion
Right.
on the
Right,
calculation
So
of the 230.
future ones,
No,
Right.
I'm trying
From
to,
today on, it's gonna be $500 a day.
okay. All right,
Right, so, I hereby noted again that the property owner is not present, or anybody else on his behalf. I hereby find, based on the evidence presented, that this is a repeat violation, as presented by case number CE 19-0110, in which I ordered immediate compliance. As such, a $500 a day fine is being imposed as a repeat violation. I'm ordering the property owner to come into compliance immediately. That $500 a day fine will take effect immediately. There will be no 30-day purge, as that was used up in the prior case. I'm also granting the town's request in the amount of $75 as incurred by the town in bringing this matter before the magistrate.
thank you.
Again, those can come for certification, the other ones.
Okay, next, number 16, we have withdrawn on the agenda. We are going to move to number 17. This is Dania Ortiz. This is going to be a case number CE 200597. This is code officer, or code enforcement and short-term rental coordinator Kristen Schumacher is presenting the case.
Okay, Ms. Schumacher, you've been previously sworn, is that correct?
Yes.
You work for the town of Fort Myers Beach as the short-term rental code enforcement officer who oversees the short-term rental regulations of the town, excuse me. Are you familiar with the property located at 268, 270 Nature View Court?
Yes.
Please tell the special magistrate how you are so familiar, particularly as it relates to the cited section of the code, rentals for less than 1 week.
Received a complaint from the neighbors that they are renting for less than 1 week. Case came before the special magistrate in November. January 30th, 2020. It states that due to their cases they have, they are supposed to immediately. Because of the violation, they had work without permits because of the fire.
This is the fire one.
Yes.
Special magistrate, I don't know if you recall, we had, this was multiple issues where we had not only rentals, but the property itself had caught fire. They had done extensive repairs to the property without the benefit of permits. They've never complied the permitting issue. And they continue to rent the property, and your previous order was that they needed to cease immediately.
And for today's purposes of today's hearing, and the new case would be for the request to increase the $500 amount as a repeat violator, correct?
Yes, because since then, based upon the information in the packet, there's documented that at least on 12 additional occasions.
Oh, this one, wouldn't it have been at 75 already? For the per diem on this order.
You didn't order any fees on the last one.
You said you just ordered them to
Immediately
cease.
cease.
So what we have is that since that date of the prior to those orders, we've determined there's been 12 additional instances of rentals.
It happens when I try to bend over backwards sometimes. Okay. Good deed goes unpunished, huh? It's coming back with this exact same thing. Okay. What is the town requesting?
Town is requesting the maximum fine of $500 for each repeat violation, which totals $6,000 for the 12 instances that have been documented by staff, and the $75 admin fee. And obviously, moving forward, that any additional rentals in violation of your order be subject to a $500 a day accrual until they resolve, as I understand your previous order, until they resolve the permitting issue, the work without a permit, before they can have any rentals.
Is this one this one's not traveling under the permit issue? This one's just traveling under the weekly rental?
Yes.
We had a separate order.
Exactly, for the permit,
For-
yeah.
for the
So,
permit.
but right now, we're just dealing with the weekly rental.
Yes, so no rentals.
Okay. Right. Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that by virtue of the order that was entered by the magistrate regarding case number CE 19-0517, that this is a repeat violator. And as such, I'm imposing the maximum per diem fine of $500 a day, which shall start accruing immediately, which shall take place immediately. There is no purge, not only because this is the second time it comes before me under a new case as a repeat violation, but also because this one includes the no permit for work performed, and that's what's getting rented for no purge. I'm also granting the town's request in the amount of $75 for fees and costs incurred by the town in bringing this matter before the magistrate.
Your Honor, if we could go back to number 15, we, in your prior order, and this was with Mr. Rodriguez,
Okay.
the prior order stated that there would be a $250 fine for each future occurrence,
Yes.
and that was not ordered. We did not mention that in what the town was
I did.
requesting.
I mentioned it as a repeat, so you can start with the new case, the
So
20.
you're gonna say, so we're not gonna get, there's no fine, even though you've got an order for future
Yeah.
occurrences?
Because you have to travel under this one. The fine's there. You just have to bring it as a certification on this one. You basically have two cases running simultaneously for similar violation. One of them as a first offender at the $250 rate.
Okay.
Starting today, it goes up to the $500 a day.
I think that the issue that, and where maybe the disconnect, if I may, Special Magistrate, is that staff testimony is that since the entry of that order, of those initial orders in case, in the 14 and 15, is that there have been documented instances of rentals since then.
Correct.
And we were asking for a fine to be assessed for those rentals that have already taken place in between.
The difference is that was that order brought to me for certification of those amounts?
No, because it's separate from that.
Correct. My
Okay,
point.
so I understand, okay, I understand.
My
You-
order
you want
was-
those certified first before we bring, preferably, before we bring new cases.
Okay, so if I have an order back in February, or whatever date this was, that said, if you violate my order, I'm gonna impose a fine of $250. You've been violating that order at
So then
$250.
to get that 3750, we need to bring this before you again under the other case number.
For certification. So the town can get a certification, when it's brought to me for certification, under this case for that 3,000 something amount. Boom. Now you have a new case that is accruing
Okay.
every time they violate, but at the rate of
Get
500.
that 37, I need to close out the other
Yeah,
case.
That's
Okay, I got you.
lack of
So
better description,
these,
close
these,
out the
these
biggest ones.
15 occurrences
We're
after
violation of-
250.
we're
right.
violation of
So
this
bring
order.
that to you under that case number. Okay, all right, which is what we'll do in October.
So
Okay.
the violation's still there and the fines are still there. They just have to be certified, become
Okay,
a
I
lien,
gotcha.
and you do what you may.
We will
But now-
see him again in October.
So today, $500 a day.
From this day forward at 500. Okay, I got you. Okay, so then we are moving to, number 18, you can see on your agenda was continued. Number 19 is continued. We're at number 20. This is 4820 Estero Boulevard, case number CE 200445. This is going to be presented by our Environmental Project Services Manager, Chad Schutz.
Schutz, you've been previously sworn in, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach as an environmental specialist who is also responsible for enforcing the town's environmental regulations from a code enforcement standpoint, including the town sea turtle lighting regulations.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the property at 4280 Estero Boulevard that is subject to case CE 20-0445?
I am.
Just tell the special magistrate how you're so familiar with the property.
The property received a final warning on June 23rd for light being visible from the beach, from the property, and was cited on August 31st for light being visible from the beach emanating from the subject property on August 27th. It was observed.
When you say that there was a notice of violation issued, just for the record, can you explain what do you and the entity the town engaged with to help regulate the short-term rentals? Do you all do a baseline survey at the beginning of the season to identify potential problem properties?
So it was the first week of sea turtle season, and first week of May, I took a few nights and did the length of the beach to try and warn people that there were violations, those that I did observe. In addition, in April, all bill or water customers of the town were sent a educational flyer informing them of updates to the Sea Turtle Conservation Ordinance, and
This would include this particular piece of property, correct?
yes, sir.
So what happened after you issued the notice of violation, notice of hearing?
I have not received any correspondence from the owner.
As of today, are they still non-compliance with the sea turtle lighting regulations, to the best of your knowledge?
Difficult to say. The lights could be off on the property in a given night. If the electricity is cut off, they're in compliance.
They've not communicated to you that they've done so, and on the dates that you inspected the property, the lights were on and in violation of the sea turtle regulations. Is that correct?
Correct.
Further, Special Magistrate, based upon the evidence testimony in case CE 20-0445, we ask that the Special Magistrate find that the property to be in violation of the town sea turtle lighting regulations on the dates that are indicated in notice of violation, assess a fine of $250 plus the $75 administrative fee for a total of $325 to be paid within 30 days.
Okay. Hereby noted that nobody is present on behalf of the property owners. Based on the evidence presented, I hereby find that the violation as stated in the notice of violation did exist, and that the property owners were duly warned on June 23rd, 2020, that there was a problem with the lighting. As such, I'm imposing a one-time fine of $250 and ordering the property owners to come into compliance regarding the addressing the change of lights or whatever they need to do within 5 days. Violations thereafter, we can do 250. You're requesting a per diem if they keep.
Yeah, if we're asking for a few.
50, yeah.
Yeah, 250, because of the fact that this is,
But yeah, so we'll impose a 250 for every time the here and after that they are, it is found that the property owners are in violation. I'm also granting the town's request in the amount of $75 for fees and costs incurred in bringing the matter before the magistrate. Basically, this one probably will work the same way as the short term, where if there's another violation, it can be brought up as a repeat, increase the per diem.
As you notice on your agenda, number 21 has come into compliance. Now we're going to move on to our imposition of lien cases. Number 22, 23, 24, or 22 was brought into compliance. 23 and 24 were continued, which brings us to number 25. And this is, again, our fire person.
Okay.
And we're bringing those back to impose the liens with regards to the work without permit for the remodel and the work without permit for the roof. Number 25 is going to be case number CE 180700 is going to be presented by Code Officer Eli Lee.
Magistrate, just as an introductory, they're in the file are the previous, or the special magistrate's previous order, as well as the, notice to appear here today.
Also included in there the calculation of days for
Appreciate
you,
that, yeah.
so.
Officer Lee, you've previously been sworn, is that correct?
Correct.
You are employed by the town of Fort Myers Beach as a code compliance officer,
Yes.
and in that capacity, you're responsible for enforcing the city's codes and ordinances.
Yes.
And you're familiar with the property that is subject of KCE 18-0700, located at 268-270 Nature View Court.
Yes.
Can you please tell the special magistrate if you've had an opportunity to inspect the property and determine, and the city's records, the town's records, to determine whether or not the required permits and inspections have been performed on this property to bring it in compliance with the order of violation?
Yes. There are no permits as of today.
No obligation either?
Application, nothing.
In your packet, we move into evidence that there's the prior order, the notices for today's hearing.
Sorry, can I it's 0700, right? This is the remodel? Or, we don't-
This is the remodel.
Yes, okay, so, I'm sorry, I was talking about the roof, but 0700, there is a permit that's been applied, but there has not been any,
Issued.
no issue. We've been requesting resubmittals since May.
Okay.
And there's,
Where was the last time you checked regarding the permitting system?
yesterday.
The town is requesting certification.
Yes, we were asking that magistrate certify the accrued fine in the amount of $56,000 plus the $75 admin fee for a total of $56,075 through days of date, and it will continue to accrue at $250 a day for each day it continues to be in non-compliance, and authorize staff to be able to record a lien.
All right, so once again, there is nobody here present on behalf of the property owners. I hereby find, based on the evidence presented, that the magistrate's order dated February 6th of 2020 in reference to the hearing that took place on January 30th, 2020 has not been complied with, and as such, I hereby certify the accrued amounts to date in the amount of $56,000 at the rate of $250 a day for 224 days, which shall continue to accrue at the rate of $250 a day until the violation is corrected. And in addition to that, the $75 administrative fee also needs to be added up, totaling certification amount in the amount of $56,075, which shall continue to accrue at the rate of $250. I hereby certify said order in the amount of $56,075 will continue to accrue at the rate of $250 a day until the violation is corrected. And by certifying this order, it shall now become a lien against the property and recorded in the official records of the County of Florida.
Okay, Madam Magistrate, we move on to number 26, same property owner. The next one, this is the work without permit for the roof. Case number CE 180724. Code Enforcement Officer Eli Lee is presenting the case.
Officer Lee, again, you've been previously sworn, and you are a code compliance officer for the town of Fort Myers Beach, responsible for enforcing the town's codes and ordinances. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are you familiar with the property of the subject of case CE 180724, located at 268-270 Nature View Court?
Correct.
Tell the special magistrate how you are so familiar.
This property was subject to a fire happened that damaged the part of the roof. The roof has been reworked on. There's no permit for it. As of today, there's still no permit at all for the roof. So therefore, there's still
We've previously brought the case before the special magistrate, and the special magistrate has entered an order of violation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that in the file that's part of the materials being submitted in the record?
Yes.
Is a notice of today's hearing sent out to the property owner?
Yes.
That also in the file?
Yes, it is.
Move that into the record, Special Magistrate.
Permitted.
In KC 180724, we'd ask that the Special Magistrate certify a lien in the amount of $56,075, which is 224 days in violation at $250 a day, for a total of $56,000, plus the ordered administrative fee of $75, for a grand total of $56,075, to continue to accrue at $250 a day until the property is brought into compliance, and authorize recording of an order and lien to that effect in the public records, Lee County.
When was the last time you checked for permitting?
To the permanent yesterday.
Okay, once again, the property owner is not present. Hereby find, based on the evidence presented, that the magistrate's order dated February 6, 2020 was not complied with. And as such, I hereby certify the amount of $56,000 in fines accrued for 224 days at the rate of $250 a day, in addition to the 75 administrative fee, for a total of $56,075. I hereby certify said amount, and by such certification, the order shall become a lien against the property, which shall be recorded in the property records, in the official records of Lee County. And it will continue to accrue because it's still not in compliance at the rate of $250 a day, just in case I didn't say that before. I think,
And as you'll see on your agenda, number 27, our last item, has been continued, so that brings us to the end of our agenda.
okay, great.
Huh.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We off? Are we off camera now? Yeah. Light is off.
Ash.
Okay.